Hello, I am a new manga reader. I have recently gone to manga in the last few years. I started by reading Yotsuba and Death Note, both of which I really enjoyed. I then branched out to Akira, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. This is one of my favorite series I've ever read in my entire life. I then decided to read some Junji Ito, which didn't go so well, I'm sorry. And then after reading Junji Ito, I decided to pick up another manga series that is highly acclaimed, but weirdly is the least popular manga I have read so far apart from Yotsuba, and that is Berserk. When you look up most popular mangas, you actually have to scroll quite a while for Berserk to pop up. But if you look up, cult classics, best mangas, this will start to creep a little bit higher. I specifically gravitated toward Berserk so early in my manga journey because of this idea of it being really dark. Everyone kept saying Berserk is like the darkest manga you'll ever read. It's so disturbing, it's so crazy. It is Berserk. That type of stuff intrigues me. Like, how dark, unnerving, controversial can a story become? That is something I'm very into. And so I decided Berserk would probably be up my alley. So I picked up volume 1 of these deluxe editions, which are massive. This is a brick, and it also is one of the best books I have ever read. Just this singular item in my hands right now is some of the best stuff I have ever had the pleasure of reading. And the crazy thing is this is just the first installment in a dozen or so deluxe editions. So after reading this first edition, there is so much more to consume of this world, which is just so exciting for me because I've actually only read this so far while filming this video. But the thing is, this book was so good. Just this first installment was so amazing and impactful on me. I have heard that this series only gets better, that this isn't even the best of Berserk, and I am already very blown away. So I have a few points to touch upon quickly about why I think Berserk is so special and why anyone, reader or not, should read this book because honestly, so easy to read. It took me probably just about over an hour or two, and manga very much reads like TV or cinema. Like, if you're not a reader, don't let that stop you. So just reading this first volume is very much worth your time. And then you can see at the end of the volume if you are intrigued enough to pick up the next one, which I think you will be. So the first of 3 things about why Berserk is so good is the art. You can't talk about Berserk without talking about the art. Kentaro Miura, who is both the writer and illustrator for this manga, blows me away with nearly every single panel in this manga. I don't know if you call them panels in manga, but I'm thinking about comics right now and I think they're called panels. So every single shot, pretty much every little illustration adds so much to the story. There is so much visual storytelling in this manga, it's insane. I sometimes have to just sit back and look at every little detail within one shot to be like, what in the hell is going on? If you're an action fan, you definitely should read Berserk. And honestly, I'm not even an action fan. I hate action. That was my least favorite part about this manga. But Miura still does an amazing job of keeping those action scenes fresh, interesting, and pretty gruesome. Secondly, my favorite thing about this manga is the ambience and the atmosphere that's created from the art as well as the actual writing itself. There is quite a bit of world building in this first volume, and I reckon there'll be a lot more to come. But the world building is not in your face. It's not just thrown at you, and there's not too much info dumping at once. It's very evenly paced throughout the whole entire volume, and you learn little subtle details about different parts of this world sprinkled throughout. I like each piece of a world to build upon the piece I've learned previously and for it to add to the overall story and the depth of the characters, and that's very much how the world building works in this book. It is a fantasy world. There's elves, different demons in this book, so if you are into fantasy as well, if you're a fantasy fan, you should definitely read Berserk. There's a lot of mysteries, a lot of questions that pop up throughout this story, different details that are mentioned. You're like, what is that? What's that got to do with anything? And then later it'll pop up again and sort of reveal itself. It's extremely immersive in the way that it's set up. You very much care very quickly, and you're introduced to a myriad of different characters. There's several different characters that actually have their own sort of backstories and connections to other characters, which keep it quite interesting. And I really love the combination of the action action, the fantasy, the character-driven moments. It all feels very balanced when you read it. Myriad does not miss a beat here. He really makes sure that every part of the page counts. It really shows. And there's also a bit of comical relief in this book as well. Like, there's some moments where I was laughing a lot. There were moments where I was really mad. There were moments where I was like about to cry. The amount of emotion that Kotaro Miura is able to pull out of me while reading this book, I did not expect that. I honestly, like, I'm so new to manga that at this point, I don't know exactly what to expect from the medium. I don't know how far it emotionally can pull me, but Berserk really took me to the next level, I reckon. And thirdly, why I love this book so much and why it is so special, this is the reason, is the compelling, complex characters, specifically the protagonist Guts. He has my heart already. I feel like I hardly know the guy, but there's something about this character that I just want to know everything about him. I am just flipping the pages to find out more and more about Guts. When I was reading Akira, my favorite character was Tetsuo, who is a secondary character. Tetsuo is a character similar to Guts in the sense that Tetsuo struggles with a lot of demons. Figuratively, I love a character that is struggling on the inner. They're really hurt, but they don't know how to like convey that or communicate it, and no one is really there for them. But the problem with Akira was that Tetsuo was not the primary protagonist. So I didn't have Tetsuo constantly on every single page. I would have to keep flipping for all the other different characters, which there ended up being so many in Akira. But when it comes to Berserk, Guts is the main character. And you are following Guts like the entire time, at least in this first volume. And it makes me so happy. And it just makes me so happy that I know when I flip a page, 90% of the time, Guts is going to be on that page. So Guts is a very believable character. That's why I love him so much. He has a lot of flaws. He is definitely not perfect. If anything, he's probably quite a bad dude. Especially at the start of the book when you don't know much about his backstory. He can appear extremely mean. But as the backstory of Guts is revealed, it's absolute perfection. And I can't wait to read more about Guts's story, his childhood. And I keep saying it, but I was just left very intrigued by the end of this volume. It is left on a little bit of a cliffhanger, leaving you thinking about Guts and being like, whoa, what has this dude been through? Like, this is going to a dark spot right now. Also, the connection between Guts and other characters is so interesting. To see him interacting with other people and trying to figure out what is he truly thinking. And then seeing other people respond to someone like Guts, who is so hard to swallow. Like, it would be very easy to dislike Guts when you first meet him. So it's really interesting to follow him, and especially Puck, who is this little elf dude, guy, girl. I think Puck is genderless. Puck is like a little elf who meets Guts at the start of the story. And that's sort of like the springboard for the rest of the story, like the meeting between Puck and Guts. And Puck is this cute little elf that like very much provides a lot of comical relief and a lot of warmth and like heart to the story. Puck is sort of just like, who the hell is this dude and what is his issue? And it's very funny. I'm so drawn in and already so connected to like their friendship. I don't know what to call it at this point. I'm just in love with their connection and seeing where that goes. So yeah, I really think you should read Berserk. If anyone has read Berserk, please comment and talk to me about it. Let it be known, I've only read the first deluxe edition, which I think that's the first 3 issues like of the normal series bound up. So if you would like to talk to me about Berserk, please do. If you have any other manga recommendations for someone that likes Akira and really likes Berserk, and I didn't mind Death Note. Death Note was pretty good. Yotsuba's very cute. Let me know what else you think I should read, because I am very slowly but surely falling in love with manga. Manga is becoming one of my favorite new things. Let me know what else I should read. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this little talk, and I hope I have convinced you to read Berserk. I honestly feel like Berserk should be a lot more popular, and that is coming from somebody that's only read about 5 mangas in their life, but I can just tell that this one's special because I am a big reader. I read a lot of fiction just outside of manga. Berserk alone, not even within the manga field, but just within like the fictional field of just books in general, is S tier. So I hope you will become a Berserk reader very soon, just like I have recently, because it is a very fun ride. I feel like I'm just starting the roller coaster. I'm going up and I'm like about to go down the drop, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, I'll see you soon in my next video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.